My fellow traders, what's happening? And we had a little tough day today, but that's just the way it is. You just roll with the punches and you keep on going. Now I know the strategy that I trade, all of the strategies that I trade are consistently profitable, and you just have to be consistent in executing it. And if you ever get that concept, and I've been sharing that video, Mark Douglas video, how to think in probabilities. If you ever get that mindset down, you're going to see some tremendous growth and improvement in your trading, because it's not about if you mess up once or twice or three times, or you lose on 2, 3, 4 trades in a row. That doesn't mean the strategy doesn't work. Sometimes you may get 7 losers in a row, and then you may end up making money on 10 trades in a row. You just don't know. You don't know which one's going to be good, which one's not. You try to use everything at your disposal to make a good assessment, but that doesn't mean it's going to be right, or it's going to work. It's not about being right or wrong. It's not, may not work out. So it is what it is. So, sure, if you're struggling with consistency or probability, you're not seeing your account grow, you probably aren't executing one strategy consistently or multiple strategies consistently. You're probably, I was talking to a trader earlier, doing a mentor session, and he was frustrated about not being consistent. And, look, I see you chasing all day. You don't have a strategy that you stick to. I taught you these 3 strategies. If they don't work, if I can't get a trade using these 3 strategies, then I'm done. I wait for the next day. And yeah, I can trade, like I might have gotten lucky and made some money on Grub or something like that later in the day. But is it something that I could consistently do? Probably not, because it's not a legitimate strategy. Chasing stocks, to me, is not a legitimate strategy. I have to base it on something, and that's just me. So what I try to teach is consistency with the strategies you trade, consistency with your execution. That will afford you the opportunity to be consistently profitable, and that in turn grows your account. You don't even have to think about it. It just happens. So just know, whatever strategy you trade, I don't care who you follow, what strategy you trade, you have to be consistent in implementing that strategy in the market and consistent with your execution. You can't control what happens after you enter the trade, but you can control everything about you entering and how you react while that trade is going on. And that's just your execution. That can be 100% every day. And that's what we have to strive for. All right, you guys, that if you missed the tax class today, the recording should be up on the member video section a little bit later, maybe in the next hour or so. We talked about the mark to market designation. There's a lot of misinformation out there, a lot that can get you in trouble. It's not as cut and dry as you think. So we covered it from A to Z. Spent a whole class talking about it, how you can self-assess to determine whether you meet it, and if you want to meet it, the things that you're going to have to change in order to make sure that if you're questioned, you can pass the audit. So we talked about all of that stuff. So make sure, if you missed it, go check it out. If you have any questions, just shoot me an email and I will get it handled for you. All right, so today, now the market this morning was it dipped last night, from that attack, and then it recovered. By the time I logged in the morning, we were back, and the market was actually trending up. So I'm like, that's good. So maybe I don't need to trade, take any long trades. Maybe I just need to, maybe I don't need to take any short trades. Maybe I just need to trade to the long side. And that's kind of what I was thinking, that the market's going up. Maybe I don't need to take any shorts. And, here we go. And, tried to work the market from there. So here's M. This is the first trade I took. And we kind of sold off coming into the open, but then we started bouncing. And we kind of worked our way back over all of the moving averages and everything. And so on the surface, this looks like a really good opening range breakout. If I'm looking at it from right here. But when I zoom out and I look at it, and I look at it from a wider perspective, this stock is trending down. All right, it's trending down. Usually what you see here, maybe people taking profit, maybe people positioning themselves, whatever. But even though the market was trending up, I should not have gone long. This is 100% a stock trending down. No way. Now I know it did break the high here, but I got in before it did break the high. So everything about this was just wrong. So it wasn't the strategy that failed, it was me. I made a mistake on executing this, and so I paid the price. So I took a hit on that. So you can see, here's the market. This is kind of the end of what happened last night. And then you see we got back up, and we were just making the move all day. Just recovering. Now, yeah, I do think this market is up on air. But it doesn't matter. It's still going. And I was just trying to trade in the direction that the market was going. And here's one, and this was a good setup that just actually failed. And you can see this is the 5-minute opening range high here, but we're below the pre-market high. And I just don't take those. I always wait until we get above the pre-market high, and then I go ahead and take the trade. But here, if I gotten in here, this was only 50 cents. And I'm looking for a lot more than a 50-cent move. And it did push up a little bit, and I almost got the top. So if I was trying to catch the top, I did a really good job. But it wasn't what I was trying to do. And so ended up getting stopped out on this one. So I was kind of 0 for 2. And I was thinking, because I didn't really pay attention to the M trade, and I didn't realize that this was in a downtrend until I did this reflection. And I was putting my my journal together. And that's when I realized I made a mistake on M. But LEN, it just failed. It failed to push. And that was that. So the next strategy, I was looking for like a trend continuation. Whereas, here was the opening range low. We broke. We bounced. We rejected this. I got in under here. But what was the mistake I made? And I didn't even know it until somebody pointed it out to me. The 100, the 200 from the daily, was sitting right here, and I shorted right into it. So the only hope I had on this was we continue to lose. And when this candle did not take out the low of this candle, and we started to come back up, guess what? I should have taken this trade off. I should have taken it off. It should have been done. But by this point, I was stubborn, and I just left my max loss stop in and said, well, maybe this is just going to sell off later on in the day. And honestly, around here, I thought I had it. Because here we pushed up, lower high, lower high. Now this one did break, but it was lower than this. We weren't really going anywhere. So in my mind, I figured this thing would sell off and break down and come on back. I could either get out, break even, or this can probably lose the 200 finally and then sell off into the end of the day. It didn't do it. And this big pop here, took me out. So just 0 for 3 today. Trend continuation trade didn't work, but I can't blame the setup because I never should have gotten in with the 200 right here. So two of the trades were operator error, but bad execution. One of the trades, that was the only legitimate strategy or setup fail, and that was that. So not a good day today at all. Gave back 488.33. So I'm probably a little red on the week. So I got 2 days to fulfill my prophecy of having a green week. I don't want to start the first week of the year out red. Just don't want to do it. If I do, I do. I'm not going to let it eat away at me. We'll just keep going. But I know earnings comes in next week, and I'm going to be off and running. But we'll see what the market does. I'm going to have to pay a little bit more attention to the setups and make sure that I have everything laid out before I get in. So again, this was my mistake. First trade on M was mine. I went long into a downtrend that hasn't broken. And then here, I shorted into the 200. And that was that. All right, so swing trading, DKS is slowly grinding itself up. We need to break this resistance. I mean, it popped over it a little bit, but we need to break this resistance and keep on moving. I'm looking for it to take out the 52-week high around 51.50-ish is where I would want to take profit off the table. Anything over 50, I'll take some off if it starts to roll over and come back, because that means if you can see how this thing is just been slowly grinding up, and I don't want to hold through another pullback. I'm not looking to hold these long term. I'm looking for stocks that have the potential to give us, quick 6 to 8% moves, and then we can take it from there. Here, I think in the last 2 days, I've only gained like 1%, and that's just not going to cut it. So maybe tomorrow and Thursday we'll get some volatility in this and get this up, so I can take some profit on this. I don't want to hold this over the weekend. I don't. And the swing scans were light last night, so this was really the only one that showed up, and I was already in the trade. The next one I'm looking at, RAD, you can see we had this huge run up, and then we had the big pullback. Now, I made almost $1,000 on this stock in 1 day in this account. Now, I know you can't take you don't want to day trade in this account. But this one, I talked about it, just made a pretty huge move. And I should have held it overnight because it did gap up and run all the way up. I could have had an even better move, but still pretty nice. So this stock does have potential. Looking for the setup tomorrow. If it triggers an entry, I'm going to be in it. Looking for the move back up through 52-week high. I don't know why, but I just got a feeling that this thing is going to get bought. Somebody's looking to buy these guys. I just have that feeling, but it may just be gas. I don't know. But that's what I'm thinking on RAD. But like I said, if it triggers tomorrow, we're going to jump in that, and we're going to be off and swinging on RAD. I'm not against having 2 swing positions on at one time. That's why I don't really size up and go in full size on these. Because if I can, you never know if another really good setup is going to hit. And you don't want to cut another trade off that's still slightly working. So you're going to see me in 2 trades, maybe 3 sometimes. Just depends on how soon we can get this account built up. But that was it for me today. You guys have a great night, a great evening, and I will catch you in the morning.